Athens believed it had solved war. Its walls were considered unbreakable, stretching from the city to the sea like a permanent guarantee of safety. Its navy ruled the Aegean, fast, disciplined, and unmatched. Its enemies could burn fields and villages, but they could never force their way inside the city itself. So when invasion came, Athens made a deliberate choice. It did not scatter, it did not retreat inland. It did not meet Sparta head-on. Instead, it pulled everyone inside. Farmers abandoned their land. Families left behind generations of homes. Animals were driven through gates never meant to hold them. The sick were carried alongside the healthy because there was nowhere else to go. The stone walls closed behind them. And with them came something far more dangerous than an army. Something no wall could stop, no weapon could strike, no strategy could confront or defeat. Within months, Athens began to empty. Not from conquest, not from siege, not from battle, from death. At the moment this decision was made, Athens stood at its absolute peak. It had survived the Persian invasion that once threatened to erase it entirely. It had rebuilt, not just stronger, but grander. It had transformed victory into empire. Wealth flowed in from across the Aegean in the form of tribute, trade, and control. Ships crowded the harbors, masts rising like a forest of confidence. Ideas filled the streets, debated openly in public spaces unlike anywhere else in the ancient world. Athens did not simply believe it was powerful. It believed it was right. Its leaders trusted reason, planning, intelligence, and foresight. They believed that human judgment, applied carefully, could outmaneuver chaos itself. When war with Sparta began, Athens refused to fight where Sparta was strongest. It would not meet disciplined hoplites on open ground. It would not gamble its future on a single land battle. Instead, it withdrew behind the long walls, sealing the city directly to its port. The countryside could burn. The crops could be destroyed. Athens would survive on ships, grain imports, and naval dominance. It was calm, measured, rational. On paper, it was brilliant, and it rested on one fatal assumption: that danger always comes from outside. When the war began, the plan was executed with precision. As Spartan armies marched through Attica, the population surged inward. Entire villages vanished almost overnight. Livestock crowded streets not built for them. People slept wherever space could be found. Temples, courtyards, stowers, alleyways. Athens swelled far beyond what it had ever been designed to sustain. Water supplies strained under the sudden demand. Waste accumulated faster than it could be removed. The air grew heavy, stagnant, and thick with human presence. But confidence remained. The walls stood firm. The fleet sailed unchallenged. Sparta could not touch them. Athens believed it had outsmarted war itself. What it had actually done was create the perfect conditions for disaster. The sickness entered through the port. The same sea routes that brought grain, tribute, sailors, and power now carried something else. At first, it appeared ordinary. Fever, fatigue, persistent headaches that refused to fade. Then it accelerated. Skin burned with internal heat that could not be cooled. Eyes reddened, swelled, and filled with pain. Throats tightened until swallowing became impossible. Breath shortened and failed. People collapsed in the streets where they stood. Doctors died first, exposed again and again as they moved from patient to patient, unable to cure what they could not understand. No remedy worked. No sacrifice slowed it. No prayer altered its course. The dead were carried out faster than they could be buried, and Athens realized something horrifying. It was sealed inside its own success. What followed was not just disease, it was disintegration. Bodies accumulated in streets and public spaces. Temples, once sacred, filled with the dead. Funeral rites collapsed under sheer volume. People burned corpses wherever they could, sometimes stealing pyres already in use, sometimes abandoning ceremony entirely. Law began to vanish. Those who believed they would die tomorrow stopped obeying rules today. Debt lost meaning. Custom lost authority. Reputation lost value. Why respect a future you would never reach? The plague spared no one. The poor died packed together in makeshift shelters. The rich died alone behind closed doors. Strength offered no protection. Virtue offered none. Athens, built on reason, debate, and order, descended into chaos. The deepest damage was not physical, it was moral. People lost faith in the gods because the gods showed no preference. They lost faith in law because law could not save them. They lost faith in one another because survival became solitary. Caregivers fled the sick, not from cruelty, but fear. Parents abandoned children when hope collapsed. Friends learned to look away. Athens had claimed to be a model for all of Greece. Now it could not bury its dead. The city was still alive. But it was no longer a society. Then the plague reached the top. The leader who embodied Athens' confidence fell ill. He survived once, then fell ill again. This time, he did not recover. With him died restraint. He had urged patience, discipline, long-term thinking. Without him, Athens drifted. Demagogues rose. Anger hardened. Caution vanished. The plague did not just kill citizens. It killed judgment. The sickness returned in waves. Each time, it hollowed the city further. By the end, Athens had lost perhaps a third of its population. Its manpower was crippled. Its morale shattered. Its political culture poisoned. Athens continued to fight. But it fought differently now. More reckless, more divided, more desperate. The city that once believed intelligence guaranteed safety was gone. Athens thought it could outthink war. That reason could control chaos. That walls and fleets could contain fate. The plague proved otherwise, because some disasters do not attack from outside. They are invited in. Athens did not begin to fall when its walls were breached. It began to fall when it locked itself inside. Because once death is already in the city, no strategy can save you.